Yesterday, a song by the Beatles. What a great song. Love the chord progression and how they used the F sharp minor 7 in there as the 7th chord in the key of G. It was a very cool idea. But let's get started with it. Basically, it starts on this G chord. And just so you know, you do have to tune your guitar down a whole step to be able to play along to the song. So if you want to tune your guitar down to play along to the song, you'd have to tune this E string to a D, so we have to lower it. A becomes a G, D becomes C, G string becomes an F, the B string becomes an A, and the E string becomes D. Let's get started with the chords here, where we're actually picking, we're using our thumb, and I try to teach a lot of people in-house here that when you're picking, try not to have your fingers extended this way where like they're in front of your thumb. You want to try to keep your fingers back like this, and you don't want to like pull your arm to get the sound. You want to use your fingers and your hand like that. So a good exercise might be, because on beat 1 we're going to use our thumb on the top string for G, and then we're going to get these guys for the rest of the beats. So we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So basically fingers 1 and 2 are picking on strings 3 and 2 while my thumb's picking on 6. Now that's obviously slower than the record. The record's probably more like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But I'll go through the song at a slower pace for people who are just learning it. So we'd go through the intro 2 times, where we get this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now we start into the verse. Again, we play the G chord again, so a total of 3 times in the start of the song. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Now we got to get that F sharp minor 7, where we're barring all of fret 2, and we got finger 3 here on string 5. We don't even really need to use this finger. I mean, we could just bar those. We could even play it like this if that's too hard. Where I got my finger 1 on top and these 2 on the bottom. I notice with students it's very hard to get their hand strength. Takes time of playing lots to be able to bar all of the 2nd fret. For those of you who can, that's awesome. I would bar it and try to keep in chord positioning here. But there's many ways to get around things sometimes. So basically we could use the G5 off of the verse, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Or we could be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Makes it kind of easier to get, as long as we don't have any other strings ringing around those. That's why I like barring, because if I'm recording I won't hear any of these open strings ringing really quietly behind these notes I'm trying to only get people to hear. From there we go to a B7, and it's almost like a split bar from the F sharp minor to the B7, where we're doing our same count of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, except we're only going to get 1 and 2 and on this chord, and then 3 and 4 and on that chord. It's pretty cool to make the change to the B7 from here. We would have to lift fingers. Finger 2 would have to just stay where it is. I have to come up to string 5, sorry. And then finger 1 would have to come back to string 4, fret 1 for a B7. And these 2 fingers would be on, pinky would be on the bottom string, fret 2, and finger 3 would be on string 3, fret 2. And we're still picking the same way, but our root note changed for the B7. So on the G chord, we're picking the top string with strings 3 and 2, and we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, starting on the intro, 3 and now verse, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's how I did that one. I did it with this F sharp minor 7. You could use this one like I said earlier. So coming off the verse again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. back to the top string with our thumb on the E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and. That time I went 3 and on the E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now my thumb's going to pick string 4 when I go to the D chord. 4 and. Now we get C major 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So those two are split bars too. C major 7 to the D7. Some great practice ideas to get there fast. If you're having a hard time, try to think about fingers 1 and 2 landing on strings 2 and 3, frets 1 and 2. So we try to get this kind of, we're already really close with this finger, so we just have to bring them down. Finger 2 just has to come down 1 string, while finger 1 lands on string 2, and we drag finger 3 back. Again, when I teach chord changes and that, we only move fingers, so try not to be having your hand moving like that. We always just try to move our fingers when we're changing chords, and it seems hard at first, but that's a great way of learning your chords to build proper dexterity. Notice I'm back here with my wrist when I'm playing, so my fingers can extend out. I'm not like this and trying to get my, bring your wrist back. Make sure you can get a pen or pencil between your hand and the neck. All right, back to the verse of yesterday. So it's starting on our G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm going to pick the 5th string on my C major 7 for the root note. 1 and 2 and 4th string for the D. And back to the G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Here's where I'm walking down to the E minor, taking finger 1 to the top string and picking that and getting into this E minor shape. So we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then it does it again, and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 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 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that ending part's pretty cool, where we just get one pick on the C, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you gotta be quick, 1 and 2. Great exercises. Trying to time 2 hands together and get those chords and fingers to land together. Never step into chords like that, bad habit. Always keeping our wrist back for our C's and our G's. Our C's you could come this way if you have to. G's I find work great if your wrist is back this way more. I can get to my C no problem if I think about pulling my fingers back like that. And finger 3 pushes up first, kick these 2 out of the way. Try not to go this way and then that way, because your pick obviously hits the 5th string first, or if we're picking, we're going to pick that right away. So we want to think more 3 comes up, 3 comes up, so we're on G, 3 comes up, like that. Or if we're on our D, same thing. Alright, so now we're into the bridge basically. So the bridge start with an F sharp minor 7 where we get this 1 and 2 and right away we'd have to shift over to a B7, 3 and 4 and then we got 3 chord changes in one bar where it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 1 and, I'm picking the 6th string, then 3 and 2, then 4, always picking 3 and 2, and then 5 and 3 and 2. So the bridge again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and that's a cool chord, an A minor 6, using your pinky on with your A minor chord on the bottom string, fret 2. And here's where we're going to shift and pick the bottom 2 strings. Or you can pick the bottom 3 and then to the D7. So basically we just have to drop these 2, or we could just take this finger off, or we could just drop these 2 down like that. So that's another great change. We could just get rid of 2 there and we have our D7. I like to stay in chord shapes. It just makes it easier for muscle memory as we learn other things. So I try to make the proper change. I don't try to shortcut anything, because it will come back and get you later somewhere along the line with some song, guaranteed. All right, so back to the bridge where we get this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So yeah, that's the part where it's like, why she 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Then again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and verse again. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we repeat the verse again, back to the bridge, and then another verse, and we're out. So it's a pretty cool song. The picking is awesome. It's nice and not too complicated, and it kind of teaches you how to get started picking with your thumb and 2 fingers using 6, 3, and 2. So yeah, I would definitely watch the counts on that, and we'll have a chart up on the video as well. So yeah, I hope that helps you guys get through the Beatles yesterday.